This is nScreenNoise. My name is Colin Dixon, founder and chief analyst at nScreen Media, and today is May 2nd, 2014. This week at the cable show in Los Angeles, on the programmers panel, there was a lot of chest thumping about how great a value cable represented. First up was John Skipper, ESPN president, and he said, "We create great value with our product. 115 million people consume ESPN each week. 86% of people consume ESPN each quarter." Wow. 86% of the US population is 270 million people. That's a staggering claim. So for comparison, let's take a look at some other numbers. Well, CBS's Super Bowl, which was the biggest sporting event so far this year, drew an audience of 111 million people. ESPN peak viewership with a Monday night game on December 9th between Dallas and Chicago, where they got an audience of 16.2 million. And the average primetime audience for ESPN is about 1.65 million. So none of these numbers are anywhere near the 270 million mark that John Skipper is claiming. How can he possibly have got to this number? Well, the only way I can think is that he must be counting you if you happened to see ESPN on at the gym or in a bar, or somebody else in the house was watching it and you happened to walk in the room. I think that's the only way you can get to 270 million. But he wasn't alone in his extravagant claims for cable and the value of cable. Rob Marcus, Time Warner's new head, said that it's not unreasonable to assume that roughly we charge customers 20 cents a viewing hour. That's a staggeringly good value, according to Rob Marcus. Well, let's look at that. First, is it reasonable to assume that cable is charging 20 cents per hour? I gotta say, no, it is not reasonable to assume that. The average viewer, according to Nielsen's last report, watches about 5 hours and 36 minutes a day of live and on-demand television. And the average pay TV bill is about $80. That's if you're at Comcast. It's a lot more if you're at DirecTV. Now, you crank those numbers and what you get is 48 cents per viewing hour, not 20 cents, as Rob claims. That's more than double his purported number. The second claim is it's a staggeringly good value. Well, to assess that, we have to compare to other options. And of course, I'm going to pick on Netflix because Rob talked about Netflix in this panel. And again, I gotta say, no, Rob, it does not in comparison with Netflix. Netflix viewers watched 4 billion hours in Q1 of 2013, and at that time there was 35 million subscribers. That works out to about 1 hour and 16 minutes per day. Remember that that consumers on average are watching 5 hours and 36 minutes of live and on-demand television. So at the current rate of $7.99, that's 21 cents per viewing hour. At the new rate, the raised rate of $9.99 a month, that's 26 cents. Compare that to the 48 cents. Well, that's a pretty easy comparison. Netflix clearly represents a better value. However, I think there's another reason why Netflix represents a better value. And that's because much of TV viewing is passive viewing, where the TV is just on in the background and people tune in and tune out while they're doing other things. Well, I would say that most of Netflix is active viewing, where they're really focused because it's all on demand. They've actually selected the show that they wanted to watch. So from that perspective as well, I think Netflix represents a little bit better value than pay TV. Now, that's not to say that pay TV isn't a good value. It's just not quite such a staggeringly good value as Rob Marcus paints it. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you again on nScreenNoise.